So, hi Shamsudin, please introduce yourself.
Okay, ma'am. I am Shamsudin Aalam. I am originally from Birganj, but currently I am living in Kathmandu, Bagbajar. At present, I am pursuing my bachelor degree in information technology at LBF College, which is affiliated with Asia Pacific Universities of Technology and Innovations. So, before that, I completed my diploma in computer engineering from Birganj Institute of Technology, which is located in Birganj. And with the overall GPAs of 3.5 out of 4, after that, I am passionate in web development. So I start my web development journey from the diploma days, and after that, I developed a strong interest in building the real world applications and problem solving skills. So after that, I built my as a developer. So currently I am working at Nectar Digit as a role of PHP Laravel developer. And in my professional journey experience, I started firstly from ProSoft Nepal, which is a startup company. So I only worked there 2 to 3 months, and after I realized there is no anyone senior, so I left. So I quit that company and searching for another one. So after that, I got opportunity from Despo Technology, which is situated in Pokhara, and I started working remotely from my home. So I worked there as more than 6 months. So I realized that working remotely is easy, but I cannot learn something more. So I also applying another for another. So I got opportunity through LinkedIn from Nectar Digit. So when I reached to the Nectar Digit, I realized how the software company looks like, and after reaching a Nectar Digit, so where I built many types of real world problem solving projects such as e-commerce sites, travel agency cargo systems, many CMS based websites like school institute related sites. So and my main motives is to always exploring new things, always exploring new technology, what something going in the real world. So I jump into that new technology, and I always curious about learning new things.
Okay, so as you have lots of experience in projects, so can you just explain me one of the projects, like what did you do in that, and what was your experience on that?
So I works on Seva Travel, which is a travel agency site, and in Seva Travel, so we take the ticket from both domestic and international. So in Seva Travel, my main role is to backend developers, and where I build admin dashboard, agent dashboard, solve agent dashboard, and the customer dashboard. So as a backend role, we always work on something that does not see. So I work on APIs for domestic airlines. We got API from Plasma Tech. Plasma Tech provides us US booking APIs. By using this API, we integrate the domestic bookings, and for the international levels, we use the Amadeus API. Amadeus is one of the most popular APIs that provide from US government, and that API we integrate in that site. So my main role is as a backend developer in that project.
So how important do you think is backend?
I think backend is more important because nowadays AI will replace front end. Because if we got any designs, we just write the prompt and the AI give that design. According to we are also modify that. But as a backend developer, AI does not think like a human, because as a backend developer we think what we want to do. But first of all we make understand AI, how the AI works. So as a backend developer, I think it's one of the most important role in nowadays, because AI replaces everyone but not backend.
Okay, so that's why you think backend is more important and backend development has very good future. Okay, that's nice. So can you just tell me a little bit about RESTful API?
Yes, of course. RESTful API is the communications methods between frontends and backend. So in RESTful APIs, they provide multiple methods like get, post, put, patch, delete. So we use get method to retrieve something data from the database or something from the third party API, and we use post method to store something and some data in the database or something in the sessions, and we use put method. Put method is used for update. If you store something on the database, but I want to update that data, so I will use put method. And one of the necessary methods like patch method. If in my table there is a multiple row of table with multiple row of data, but I want to edit only one data, so in that situation I use patch method. And the last method is delete method. Delete method is used to simply delete the data from the database.
Okay, so which database does Laravel use?
Laravel supports multiple databases, just like mainly they focus on four databases, that is MySQL, Postgres, SQLite, and SQL Server.
Okay, which one do you prefer?
I prefer SQLite because SQLite is a lightweight and good for simple projects like table bookings or normal booking sites. And I don't recommend Postgres because Postgres is a very high level complex and large complex. It is complex for beginners, but MySQL is a lightweight and everyone easy to learn it and it is easy to use it.
So why do you think we have to choose Laravel in, like, there are lots of other languages, other stacks too, right? So
Yes.
why Laravel should be used, and why do you think the Laravel is like more relevant?
Yes, because I think Laravel is very important because nowadays every programming language has a one stack. Like we use one programming language for backend and we use another framework for frontend. But Laravel provides both methods. Laravel is one of the full stack framework that provides frontend and backend both. So Laravel is provide many predefined authentication systems like multiple database supports, multiple file system support, artisan command interface, blade templates. There are many advantages of the Laravel. So Laravel is mainly important because it provides frontend and backend, and we use Laravel to integrate to make one of the SaaS applications. It is better for SaaS applications because we use only one framework for the both works.
So you just told about lead template. What is it?
Blade template is one of the we code front end in HTML, but Laravel does not support HTML. They provide Blade, as Blade is known as a templating engine that works same as a HTML.
Okay, so just a scenario-based question. Your Laravel application cannot connect to the database. What do you take first?
First of all, I check the Laravel project file that is called .env file, because when we create any database, we name the database, their users name, their passwords, we that put on .env file. So first of all, I check the .env file how the database are connected or not connected. Then after checking the .env file, I directly jump into the MySQL, which provides a PHP So I open that PHP and check that is my database exist or not exist. So after exist, I copy the name and put that on my .env file.
Okay, your website becomes slow after adding many database queries. How do you improve the performance?
So Laravel provides many advantages for optimizing sites because that's one of the most important is that's eloquent. Eloquent Laravel provides that is works same as a raw query. So if we use a raw query, that is more complex, but Laravel provides eloquent, that is already one of the optimized way to use that. And Laravel also support indexing. So we use indexings that help us to fetch data fast from the database. So Laravel support fetching, eloquents, and relationships. So we connect both data between we connect relation between two tables.
Okay, so let's move towards the other questions. So how do you handle stress?
Uh, I handled stress by going to the gym and spending time with my friends, and sometimes I go to the out of the cities and in the trips like that.
So you believe in going to trips and like catching up with friends so that you can handle the stress. Okay, so is there any time when you had to learn something very quickly? Like just an example of some, or the time when you had to learn something very quickly to do something. Like maybe just doing while building one of the websites or one of the applications, right? So you might have to had to learn something very quickly just to finish the task, right? So is there any example?
I quick launch. Sometimes I think I am a quick learner because sometimes because I learn Laravel as a very fast way, because in my diploma journey in the fifth semester I don't know anything, but after in the entry in the sixth semesters I only focus on 3 months in Laravel, and I call as a developer, and at that times one of the teachers that helps me to come into work in the industries. So I think
That is also one of the
one of
time when you learn something very quickly. Okay, so you said you had worked remotely and you pretty much didn't like the experience. But I'll ask you something related to that. Okay, so while working remotely, how do you ensure effective collaboration between the team members?
Because in remotely there's a many communication platforms that provides like Slack, Jira. This is one of the platforms that use every software computer that platform use it for communications. How the teams collaborate with each other, and when we working remotely. So I feel at that time remotely I will not be good because at that times I am beginner when I working on remotely. So that time I cannot catch something fastly, because when we because there is a difference between we collaborate from physically and between online. So that is the reason that time I equate that online, and I work on the physical way.
Okay, so imagine you're a leader. Okay, so because one or the other day you'll of course be a leader of some
Yes,
team members, or like you'll just become a manager or something like that, right? So as a leader, imagine you have a client who is giving you constant changes on your website, and your team is getting very frustrated looking at that changes. Okay, so how do you handle that situation? How do you handle the client in that situation?
This situation always calling our companies. So at that times, first of all, we hire one of the Figma developer, because every client has one problem, and that is the designing problem. Because everyone looks at design, they does not look at what working on the back end. They don't doesn't matter. They only look at design. So at that times we don't start front end code from scratch. First of all, we collaborate the Figma developers, the Figma designers, and the clients. They both collaborate with each other, and they tell us I need here what I need here what. So first of all we complete that Figma complete. After completing the Figma, we just once verify that is everything's okay, we can start coding. So if they have told us yes, you can continue from it. So at that time, so we start coding from like a front end for HTML, CSS, or many SPS like Vue.js, React, etc.
Okay, so first of all, you just take the approval of the client and then only start doing
Then
work so
only
that
start.
there will not be problem later. That's a good idea. So how do you handle conflict within a team?
Every team has a sometime they come conflict. So that conflicts for removing that conflict, most of the times we organize some parties. At that time, teams collaborate with each other. They talk with each other. So if someone have stress, then we can tell us. Yeah, I at that time I feel bad from you. So after collaborating with each other, and we at that time we fix it.
Okay, so you'll just manage something where you can go and talk to each
Yes.
other and have a good time so that the things that have happened in past will go.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good idea as well. So is there any time when you failed at something and what did you learn from that?
Yes, just recent story when to 1 or 2 years of experience. I just started my one of the my companies, which is that is Atmos SoftTech, and it is currently running. But at that time, we have 3 teams in the member, and we are also doing our projects from one of my friends who lives in Australia, and they connect the client with us, and we are working from that clients. So at that times, I realized I cannot manage good with my teammates. So at that times I can fail it, but it doesn't matter. I again started from very soon.
So you believe you learned that you can
Learn.
again restart after the failure. Okay, that is nice.
Failure gives us 2 choices: if you stand up or if you stand down.
Okay.
I
So how comfortable are you with change? How comfortable are you with change?
I think I'm more comfortable now because I have good friends, I have good teammates, and we always collaborate at nights, and we are also always thinking what something bring new in Nepal, and we cannot focus on foreign country. While going in foreign country, you can start something in Nepal.
So you believe in staying in Nepal
Staying in
and
Nepal,
collaborating and doing something new. That is nice. Okay. Imagine someone younger or less experienced than you is giving you suggestions. How do you take that?
I take it that it's very friendly, very kindly, because he's just a junior. Because in the time I was also at that times, so I respond him very kindly. If they call me bad, but I always respect him because he's just junior. He's a junior, he's just learning from something new, and he's lesser than me. Then he cannot see the world, how the world are working, how the world are running. So I kindly respond to him.
Okay, so the last question I'm asking it to all the students. What is one of the motivation that drives you every day?
I give motivations. You must build discipline, consistency. Discipline and consistency is one of the most important things in our life. If we can't follow the discipline, we cannot do anything in our life. So first of all, pick one of the. If you're interested in coding or developing, you pick one of the programming language, master them. Don't look anything, look back or look on front, left, right. You just put on the focus more on your goals, and make one of the disciplines. And discipline and consistency is more important. Motivation is just temporary. We look something and that motivates us. But after a few hours or time, the motivation goes down. So if you build a discipline, it helps in your future. It helps to make a perfect person in the future.
Okay, so the discipline that you have is something that drives you every day.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shamsudin, for your
Thank you so
time.
much.